Hello PV students. I'm having this video for you so you'll be able to know the step-by-step procedure when dealing with a conscious victim. In this scenario, we're going to be dealing with a conscious child, but on your skill sheet that you're going to have to fill out, you're going to have to know the differences between adult, child, and infant, which I'll go over in a separate video. All right. Like I said, in this particular situation, we're going to be dealing with the child. We don't know the age of the child yet. That's something that we need to find out. As you approach the victim, you want to check the scene for any type of unsafe things because you don't want to be a victim yourself, and it might also clue you into something that you can surmise as to what happened to the victim. When I come up, if the victim is a child, I'm going to look around and see if there's a parent present, because the first thing you want to do is introduce yourself to the parent and get their consent. In this situation, there is no parent present, so the consent is therefore implied, and you should have learned about that earlier in the unit. All right. As I come up, I want to approach the victim. I'm going to make sure they're responsive and awake. What's up, buddy? How you doing? You okay?
Yeah.
All right. In this situation, the victim is awake. Do you remember what happened?
I was playing football with my friends, and then I had a collision. The next thing I knew, I was here.
Okay. So obviously, if we can take anything from the information they provide us, that's great. So I might be thinking he has some type of concussion or things like that. Another thing that I want to look for in step one is to make sure that there's no life-threatening conditions like external bleeding, any bone sticking out, if the victim's going in and out of consciousness. In this situation, there's nothing. Okay, no life-threatening conditions. So at this point, in step one, you want to make sure they're responsive and awake. You want to introduce yourself. If there's a parent, get their consent. If no parent and the victim's a child, you're going to say that the consent is implied. And then the last thing, determine any life-threatening conditions. If there's no life-threatening conditions, then you don't need to call 911. If there is, then we want to call 911 ourselves, or if a parent's present, have the parent call 911. Step two, now we're going to ask a variety of questions. The first question I want to say is, what's your name?
Connor.
Connor. So he does know his name. So even though I think he might have had a concussion of some degree, he does know his name. Another question I could ask is, what happened? He already told me that he remembers before and after the injury. So again, we're determining from that it could be a concussion, but you always want to get as much information out of the victim as possible. Do you have any pain anywhere, son?
A little bit in my head.
A little bit in his head. So he has maybe a little bit of a headache. Again, could be a symptom of concussion. Are you allergic to anything?
No.
Do you know if you have any medical conditions or anything like that?
I don't think so.
Okay, and again, you can ask the parent this if the parent's present, but at this time he doesn't think he has any medical conditions or anything like that. Okay. Anytime throughout the procedure, if you feel like that you have to call 911, even though you didn't earlier, you could, like if they go in and out of consciousness or anything like that. So that was step two. Step three, now we want to do a check from head to toe. And what I mean by that, I'm going to visually check from head to toe. So I look around his head. All right. I look at his ears to see if there's any fluid coming out of his ears. All right. I look and see if his skin temperature is flush, maybe it's bluish in color, anything like that. I go to his neck. Does your neck hurt at all? Okay, and he's moving it a little bit, so that's a good sign. Do your shoulders hurt at all?
No.
Okay, can you shrug them a little bit? Okay, does that hurt?
No.
All right, does your chest or abdomen hurt?
No.
Okay, what about your legs? Do your legs hurt?
No.
Okay, and as I visually look over his legs, there's no deformities, anything like that. How about your feet? Can you wiggle your toes? Move your feet. Does that hurt at all?
No.
Okay, so at this point, he doesn't have any pain from head to toe, which is a good thing. At any time while I'm doing that, if there is pain, if they start to go in and out of consciousness, I can call 911. Okay, and that's a very important part of the process. So that was all step three, checking from head to toe to make sure there's no pain, no deformities. You can have them move the area if you feel necessary. That's all in step three. Step four, determine if we need to call 911 at any point. Okay. Step five, let's just say that step five, we did call 911. In this situation, we want to have the victim in the most comfortable position possible, okay, which is probably laying down. I'm just going to have you lay down there, okay? All right. Then we also want to make sure that we reassure the victim that the EMT's coming. The ambulance is on its way, all right? You're going to be okay, okay? They're going to get here soon. And then we want to keep an eye on the victim too. So notice any changes. Does the skin color start to change? Do they start to sweat? Okay, do they start to go in and out of consciousness? Anything like that. All right, step six, let's assume that we did not call 911. All right, again, so this is step six, we didn't call 911. Again, we're gonna have them rest in the most comfortable position possible. If it's on their back, that's fine. We really don't want to move the victim a whole lot until they're ready to be moved. And that's again part of step 6. Okay, since we didn't call 911, when the victim's ready, we can have them get up to their feet. Let's assume in this situation we did not call 911. Do you think you can get up to your feet? You feel okay? Okay, I'm going to help you up, okay? All right, so give me your hand. Come on up. Good, nice and easy. You sure you're okay? All right. All right, and that's steps 1 through 6 on how to help a conscious victim.